Now let's talk about something. Let's talk about something, honey, that's already, I know it's already up in your mind. Okay, let's talk about the holidays because, baby, they're here. They are absolutely here. The time has come. And it's funny because I was just having this conversation at work the other day about who's responsible for what, who's cooking for Thanksgiving, who's cooking for Christmas. And luckily, I have some privileges during the holidays right now. So I cannot relate to some of the things, but I know that is not everybody's story. So there's two things that happens during the holidays. You have one hand, you get to see all your family, your favorite cousins, y'all get to cut up. You get to see maybe your grandparents, some family that you only get to see during the holidays. And you talk about the childhood memories and y'all be keying, and the nostalgia of it all is great. But then you have the other side of the holidays, especially for us as Black women, where it brings the feelings of obligation, exhaustion, emotional labor, and the feeling that you're just being stretched so thin that you just might snap. Now, you know what I'm talking about. Now, if you're the one that everyone leans on during the holidays, the default host, the mediator, the problem solver, the one who's expected to fix it all and hold it together, then this time can be very, very exhausting for your spirit. So, we're going to chat about how to protect your peace during this holiday season. And it's going to start with boundaries, because boundaries is the protection. Boundaries is the foundation that's going to get you through it all, whether they're soft, whether they're firm, and everything in between, because I want you to go into this holiday season grounded, centered, and protected. So let's start off with talking about being the default person for everything during the holidays. So you're the host, you cook, you send out the invitations, you coordinate everything, right? And it's expected every year that you do that. It's expected that you show up, rain, sleet, shine, just like the postman. No matter what's going on during the holidays, you are expected to show up. And I need you to understand this, okay? I need you to understand that this didn't happen by accident. It's not like one day you woke up and it was like, oh, I'm the one that does this and I'm the one that's done that. No, no, boo, absolutely not. Many Black women have always become the default holiday person because you're the responsible one. So it goes from like big mama to your grandmama to your mama, and then it comes down to you. Let me tell you why. You've proven suitable for the role. You've proven that you can handle things. And so everyone just assumes that you're going to do it. And you don't tell them anything different. It doesn't matter that, you're exhausted after creating these beautiful experiences, and you put all the nice stuff comes out of the closet, and you manage the logistics, and you make everyone feel great. They come to your house or you go to somebody else's house and they're like, you just make the holidays so good. Like, you do such a great job. But here's what no one is telling you. Being capable doesn't mean you're obligated. Just because you can doesn't mean you have to. Okay, let's let that sink in. Let's let that sink in. And I'm gonna say it again. Being capable doesn't mean you're obligated. Just because you can doesn't mean you have to. Hosting is labor. It's labor, it's work. And not just the work of you being in the kitchen cooking for 2 days or wrapping gifts for a week or, setting up all the bedrooms so people have a place to sleep and filling up the refrigerator with groceries. It's emotional labor. It's mental labor. It costs you time, it costs you money, energy, and also your peace of mind, because after the holidays are over, you're exhausted. And I just want to put this in your ear. I'm just the messenger, okay? You're allowed to opt out of that labor. Yeah. You can say no. Even if it's something that you've always done, even if you are the go-to, you can say no. We're raised with these messages about service and sacrifice. right? We're taught to keep the peace, to hold it together, to show up for family no matter what. You are the glue. These aren't just your personal beliefs. Remember, we always talk about the scripts and the narratives that we get from external sources, whether it's our mothers, our grandmothers, family, just messages. There's messages being bombarded at us all the time. And then we just believe them to be true. We never question, is this something that I really want and believe, or is it something that just is because someone said? Our mothers, our grandmothers, our great grandmothers often had to be strong because survival demanded it. I need this to be a regular message in your mind. They had to put everyone before themselves because it was required. That was life or death. But this is what I need you to understand. What was necessary for their survival is actually stealing your ability to thrive. I feel like I need to say that for you one more time. What was necessary for the generation before you and before them, what was necessary for them to survive is what is stealing your ability to thrive. You don't have to do the same things that they did. You can honor their strength and do something different. They're not contradictions. Two things can exist at the same time. I say this to y'all all the time. But let's talk about the real reason. Let's talk about the root of why you do this. The real reason many of you keep saying yes when you want to say no is because you're afraid of disappointing people. You're afraid of what will happen if you don't show up. What happens if you say, no, I'm going to somebody else's house, or no, I'm not doing anything this holiday. I'm just going to sit in the house and rub my feet together and watch Christmas stuff, eat my cookies, drink my wine. You're afraid of being called selfish, or hearing that you've changed, or dealing with the guilt trips, which they're going to come. Like, that's inevitable. They're going to come. Because the truth is, someone's going to be disappointed. It's going to hurt their feelings. They're not going to understand. They're going to try to make you feel bad about your boundaries. That's okay. That's okay. You know why? Because them being disappointed in you saying no is not your responsibility to figure out. That has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them figuring it out. You can love these people and want to celebrate with them and spend time with them and still protect yourself and your well-being. You can care about their feelings, love on them, and honor your limits. These aren't either ors. They actually create healthy relationships, which some of us struggle with what a healthy relationship is, not just a romantic relationship, but what a healthy relationship is in our family. So now that you understand why you show up this way every holiday season, let's talk about some more of the practical things. Because knowing that you need to have boundaries, that's one thing. That's only one part of it. When I tell you to set them, to actually implement setting them, now that's a different story. Now I'm going to give you a few specific scripts that you can use on the holiday season. Do what you need to do, okay? Put these somewhere. And I want you to notice something as I share these scripts, okay? They're complete sentences. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about what it is that you're saying. You don't need to elaborate. You don't have to put no razzle dazzle on it. You don't have to justify it. It is what it is. Your boundary is valid as it is. So let's start with declining hosting duties, because this is the big one. Some of y'all have already started and there's no coming back, but I can help you out for next year. Because as you are listening to this, you are probably in the kitchen cooking. I'm not judging you, but we're going to get you ready for next year, okay? Declining to host when everyone expects you to. So for a soft boundary, you might say, I'm keeping this holiday low energy for myself this year, so I won't be hosting. I could bring a dish though. So this is already giving people a heads up. Listen, we're doing something a little different this year, but I'm still going to help out. I'm still going to participate. Now, if you want to be a little firmer, if you feel like your backbone is a little bit stronger, I'm not hosting this year. I need a little space. I need a break. Period. Skirt, full stop. That's it. You don't need to explain it. You don't have to say why. You don't have to justify it. And if you want to reset this expectation for years to come, I know I've hosted in the past, but this year will look a little different for me. So now you're giving yourself permission to grow, to evolve, and to do something different. You're giving yourself space to make different choices, even if that's not what they expected, because it's okay if they don't expect it. Now let's talk about these intrusive questions. The invasive ones that always come up that you see people creating videos about. Someone gonna ask about your relationship status. Why are you single? I'm keeping my dating life private, but thank you for checking on me. I love you. Questions about having kids or when you're gonna have some more. Yeah, we're not discussing that today. That's not something that's up for discussion today. Or how about work or money questions that make you feel like they're evaluating your worth? I'm taking a break for talking about work. It's the holidays. Let's just enjoy them. Let's enjoy our time together. And this one, y'all know what's getting ready to come up. Y'all know that conversation that, grandma always bring up or your auntie always bring up. The comment about your weight or how you look. I'm not open to body comments today. We don't even have to discuss that. Now, do you notice a pattern? In none of these do you have to explain yourself. You're not justifying, why these topics are off limits or why are we not talking about that today. You're just simply stating your boundary. It is what it is. It is what it is. Now, let's think about a situation that comes up all the time. So, you're hosting. There were a sprinkle of people that were supposed to participate in some way or manner, where they were supposed to come help you, they were supposed to bring something, and they don't follow the assignment. They didn't follow through on their commitment. Now, in the past, you probably started running around, oh, I got to go get this, I got to do that, this, that, and the other. You may have emergency grocery runs. You go in the day before, you trying to find somewhere the day of, you up late cooking because somebody ain't bringing something, and you don't want things to be wrong. You want to make sure that this experience and this meal is perfect. This year, how about we try this? If it doesn't get made, we'll adjust. I'm not picking up extras this year. Or it can get even simpler. My plate is full. I can't do that. Let there be space. Let the gaps exist. It's fine. You will survive. Everybody else will survive. The meal will survive. The holiday will survive without you scrambling to fill up the space that someone dropped the ball in. And honestly, it's better for your well being. That's one less thing you have to worry about. So let's take a minute. Let's pause for a minute and talk about implementation, because this is where we always find struggle. This is where my clients struggle. Sometimes this is where I struggle. This is where people struggle when it comes to implementation. So I want you to try what I call the boundary rehearsal practice. So first, you're going to identify your highest stakes situation. So think about an upcoming holiday gathering. What's the one situation where you most need a boundary? Is it you need to decline to host? Do you need to limit your time at a specific event? Or do you need to be shutting down some questions that don't nobody need to be bothering you about? So I want you to choose one of those. Only you know which one you deal with. And then I want you to write your script. So use the examples that I gave you and write out exactly what your boundary statement is. Or you can tweak it how you need to, but make it short, make it clear, and don't over explain yourself. And then practice out loud. Just like you used to do with your little essays and your Easter poem and everything like that. Say it out loud. This is very, very important. You say it to yourself over and over in the mirror. You say it to a friend. You say it until it doesn't feel scary, until it's part of your conversation. Now you're like, Natasha, why do I need to do this? I'm not a child. Because when you're in the moment, when people are looking at you and they have these expectations, your nervous system is going to light up like a Christmas tree. And when your body is lit up and is saying abort, abort mission, this is not safe, you're going to go right back into people pleasing so that you can feel safe again, so that you can feel connected, because that's what you're used to. So practicing beforehand helps your nervous system recognize that you setting this boundary is actually safe, even if it feels uncomfortable. Discomfort isn't a reason to continue to do things that are not good for you. And then you got to prepare for the pushback. You have to. Someone is going to come to you and say, but you're always the host. You do such a good job. The holidays won't be the same if you don't do it. Why are you being like this? Why are you acting funny? Why are you acting different? So go ahead and prepare for those responses. I know this is different. I know this is something we're going to have to get used to, and I'm making this choice for my well-being, for my mental. You don't have to convince them. You're not asking for permission. You letting them know, oh, I'm changing my mind. I'm not doing this anymore. This isn't a conversation. This is me giving you information. Okay? So make sure you do that exercise. I promise you it's going to help you out. It may feel a little uncomfortable, but the more you do it, the better you're going to feel. Now let's talk about protecting your energy. Not just during the actual time that you're with your family, but preparing before and then after. So before the gathering, before y'all getting together to kiki and hang out, you need a plan of action to protect your energy. So what I want you to think of is, first, drive yourself whenever possible. I feel like we're pretty decent with this, but just in case someone has to tell you, drive yourself when you can. Because now you are in control. You're in control when you get there. And more importantly, you are in control about when you leave. You're not trapped waiting for someone else. Because you always go to that one cousin that's having a good time. And you're just like, you trying to give them the signal with your eyes. And they just over there kiki and having a good time. And then you let them know that you're ready to go. And they're like, but we just got here. They get ready to watch this movie. Or they get ready to play this game. So we about to get on the spades table. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. So driving helps with all of that. Second, set a time limit before you walk in the door. If you know that you get stressed out in certain areas, before you get there, decide how long you're going to stay. I'm only going to stay here for 3 hours, or by 8:30 it's time for me to go. So if you have this idea in your head before you get there, it makes it easy to actually follow through. Now, if you're having a good time and you want to go ahead and stay a little bit longer, that's fine. But in the event that you're ready to go ahead and set that timeline for yourself. Third, and this may be a little interesting for you, but let's just follow my process. Okay, follow my process. Eat before you go. Eat before you go. If you arrive and you're not starving, because listen, I know they told you that dinner was going to be ready by 3 or 4 o'clock. But we know everybody's not going to be there. And we know that the food is probably not going to be ready by 3 or 4. So if you get you something to eat before you get there, you're less vulnerable to your blood sugar affecting your mood and your ability to maintain your boundaries. That's not something we think about. Our internal body, right? Turning on us. Now we irritable and we're overwhelmed and we just saying whatever to keep the peace. So go ahead and eat before you get there. It'll be absolutely fine. You can still have your 2 or 3 little plates and then take some food to go. And finally, have a grounding practice ready. So maybe it's a specific song that you listen to in the car. Maybe you need a prayer and affirmation. Maybe it's deep breathing before you walk in, something that is just a reminder. I am allowed to protect my peace. I am allowed. Maybe that's your mantra. I am allowed to protect my peace. I am allowed to protect my peace. Now, real time protection. You need strategies to protect your peace while you are there, like in the moment. So take breaks. I cannot emphasize this enough. You don't have to be on the entire time. You don't have to chit chat all the time. You don't have to deal when people start getting loud and fussing at each other. Step outside for some fresh air. Go to a bedroom, close the door for a couple minutes, take a walk. Your nervous system deserves the break from all of the social interaction, especially if the environment happens to be triggering or overwhelming for you. And then go ahead and create distance with those certain relatives. It's certain ones that you just know, you do too much. You do too much. You drain my energy. You are bound to cross my boundaries no matter which one it is. You don't have to sit next to them. You don't have to engage with them with long conversations. You can politely create distance. Now, try the gray rock method for when people provoke you. So this means giving minimal, boring responses that do not invite any further engagement. Do not be pulled in with the open-ended question. So you could give a that's interesting. Oh, I see. And then change the subject, or you just walk away. And remember, you can always leave. Like, that is always an option. You can always leave. You can leave early. So, in fact, let me just give you the permission. I'm giving you permission right now to leave early. And you don't need this dramatic exit. You don't need to make an elaborate excuse. Oh, I got to go. No, I'm going to go ahead and head out now. Thank you so much for having me. This was great. Over and done. And then the aftercare. The aftercare. You know, I'm a sex therapist, so aftercare is always going to be important to me. This is the part that gets forgotten for everything. You need to recover after. You have been activated. You have been overwhelmed. You have been peopling. You've been dealing with family dynamics and holding boundaries and navigating people's feelings about your boundaries. And that's going to take a toll on you emotionally, even when things are good, even when there's no problem, but you're still doing something different. So plan for recovery before the event ends. So go ahead and plan for maybe a quiet evening alone after you get home. Maybe it's a long bath with no interruptions, journaling. Maybe the next day is a full day of nothing, sitting in the bed with pajamas on, watching TV. Maybe you need to go do some time in nature, or maybe you need to connect with someone that just makes you feel poured into. That's an option too. So I want you to think of it like this. Athletes don't just train hard and then immediately jump into the next workout. Okay, so they have their recovery periods built into the training schedule. And you need the same thing for this holiday season to maintain your emotional and mental well being. And don't be out here scheduling back to back gatherings if you can avoid it. And if for some reason you can't avoid it, you got to be more intentional about protecting your energy during the events. Okay. And I want to talk about something else that may not have been considered that I want you to really sit and ponder on. You're allowed to redesign the holidays around what actually nourishes you, what actually like fills your cup up. Now, I know the holidays have looked a certain type of way from year to year to year for a very long time, and I understand that. But here's another permission slip for you. They don't have to look that way anymore. You don't have to keep doing the same thing over and over again. So I have a couple questions that I want you to really sit and just kind of like process, reflect on, maybe journal on. If I could design my ideal holiday without worrying about anyone else's expectations, what would it look like? So is it a potluck where everyone contributes instead of you doing all the cooking? Is it a smaller gathering where it's just your immediate family and your closest friends? Or is it possible that it could be a brunch that, instead of that huge, really big dinner with a lot of food, maybe it's a trip instead. I know a lot of people have started using the holidays to go on trips for experiences. Or maybe it's a solo holiday where you do whatever it is that you want to do just for you. Another question to take into consideration: what traditions are you keeping out of obligation versus something that you genuinely desire? And I need you to be honest here. What are you doing because they've always done it that way versus what actually lights you up and makes you happy? What's one small change I can make this year? You don't have to revolutionize the entire holiday process. That's not what I'm asking you to do. That in itself is overwhelming, and it can be jarring to you as well. Because, I mean, you've been doing this the same way for years. And so, what I'm asking you is, what's one thing that you can shift that would make the holidays feel more sustainable for you? Okay, maybe it's you order a few dishes instead of cooking everything from scratch. Maybe it's having virtual check ins with family members instead of meeting them in person. Maybe it's creating a new ritual and it's just you and your little family or you and your kids. And maybe it's leaving the gathering after dessert instead of staying for hours on hours on hours. These small changes create permission for bigger changes later. What you're doing is giving yourself the proof that you can do this and everything's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And when you start honoring what you need, your actual needs, instead of performing what you think you should do, the holidays just become that more meaningful. Instead of a survival marathon, it's something that you absolutely enjoy. So, as we wrap up, I want you to leave with this truth, okay? Your peace is the gift this holiday season. Your peace of mind, not the perfect meal, not showing up for every single gathering so everyone can see you, not keeping everyone else comfortable at the expense of your own well being. It's your peace, your actual embodied, protected peace that is the gift. Okay, you deserve a holiday that doesn't drain you, and you deserve to go into the new year with energy left in your tank. You deserve to experience joy this holiday season instead of obligation. And if you are struggling to set these boundaries, if you're feeling that familiar guilt creeping in, or you're worried about how people will react, I want you to know it's fine. It's absolutely normal. You are unlearning years and years, generations of conditioning that told you your worth comes from how much you give and how little you need. That kind of unlearning doesn't happen overnight because you've been thinking the same way for so long. And it also doesn't happen in isolation. So at Javery Integrative Wellness Services, we work with high achieving Black women who are ready to break free from survival patterns that no longer serve them. So we address the inherited scripts that make boundary setting feel impossible, and we create sustainable practices for protecting your peace. The thing that we've been talking about this entire episode, not just during the holidays, but every single day. So if you're ready for support in this journey, then I do invite you to go over to javerywellness.com/get-started to complete an intake form. And we can explore what it looks like for you to move from surviving the holidays to actually thriving in your life. And if you're not quite ready for therapy yet, you're like, oh, that's a bit much, it's absolutely okay. But I do want you to dive deep into the practices of self care. So you can sign up for my free 7-day self care reset at javerywellness.com/reset. Again, it's a powerful email series that will walk you through giving permission to prioritize your needs, recognizing survival scripts, and creating sustainable self care. Now, before you go, if this episode resonated with you, I'd be very grateful if you leave a rating and a review wherever you're listening. It helps other Black women find this podcast and discover that they're not alone in this journey. You can connect with us over on Instagram at javerywellness.com, and I'd love to hear, love to hear how you're protecting your peace this holiday. Until next time, remember you deserve to thrive, not just survive. And thriving starts with protecting your peace. Bye.